down so forcefully, she feared for a moment her arm had been dislocated at the shoulder. Kneeling, not knowing what else to do, she started to laugh. Chuckling first, then deep laughter. The feeling of hold that came from the magnetic implants in her arms was actually one of gentle massage under the skin. She could wiggle her fingers freely, but her wrists were glued to the platform. The ridiculousness of it all. She laughed until she felt out of breath, then laughed some more. The bells began to sound. Wright screamed into the air. "Please rise for Her Majesty." He ran the rest of the way to his announcer's box. The crowd stood on their feet. They held themselves still and erect. For her. She walked onto the faux football field, aluminum alloy on her arms, braids that stopped at the back of her neck, exposed shoulders, each tattooed with the Whole Market trademark logo. A series of rods jutted out from her chest guard and circled her muscled abdomen to form a sleek cage. It was a custom creation. Thurwar had watched, even cheered, the first time she'd seen that the metallic pieces, initially thought to be exclusively defensive, were more. She'd been watching, huddled with the others in her cell block around the streaming video feed, when the woman had removed 2 of the rods from her guard and pressed them into Slingshot Bob's eyes. And now Thurwar was seeing them up close. This was Melancholia Bishop's final fight. Bishop had made it. She had done what no woman before her had done, survived 3 years on the circuit. 3 years of slamming down her hammer, Haas Omaha, and swiping her mace, Vega. 3 years conquering souls. "Drown King County's very own Queen of the Damned." All she had in her hands was her helmet. Melody's helm, Crusader style, made of tin with a gold cross down its middle. "The Annihilator, the bad news bitch, the death songstress herself." The 7th bell rang. The people screamed. For years, this had been their sacred ritual. The 7 bells of Melancholia Bishop. They'd seen her wipe scum off the earth. They'd seen her kill women and men whom they'd once claimed to love. Now she stood and looked out at them for the last time. Soon she would be free. "Melancholia! Melancholia! Melancholia!" The crowd chanted. Her brown eyes explored the bleachers. Then she raised the helm above her head. Once it was on, she was home. "Melancholia! Melancholia! Melancholia!" "For the last time ever," Wright cheered. "Please help me welcome the winningest woman ever to step on the battleground, the mistress of the murder ballad, the sacred sweetheart, the crusader, the baddest the planet has ever seen, your very own Melody Melancholia Bishop Price." Your very own, Thurwar thought, rattled by the force of the love that exploded out from the audience. They loved her so. And still, this woman, despite it all, belonged to none of them. She had an aura about her that made that clear. It was enough to push Thurwar's eyes down to the ground, as if the woman in front of her truly were royalty. Thurwar watched, bowed in her keep, an impossible power in front of her. The hammer and the mace. On one side of the field there was a knight in her armor. On the other side, there was Thurwar in a jumpsuit, a corkscrew slick in her clammy hands. "Bishop! Bishop! Any final words for us, Melancholia?" Wright asked. "What's left to say?" she said, her voice echoing metallic.